Fox 11 Community Champions is driven by your helpful Southern California Honda dealers.
In tonight's Community Champions, turning unbearable grief into action. A mother who lost 2 sons to gang violence founded Loving Hands Community Care. See why the NFL awarded her nonprofit a $50,000 grant ahead of the Super Bowl.
We bring people together in their grief so that we can all remember that we are not alone and we are not forgotten.
A Mother's Day lunch for mothers who've lost a child.
This is definitely a club you don't want to be in, and it can happen to anybody.
Kathryn Wooten had founded Loving Hands Community Care after losing 2 sons to gang violence.
Back in 2008, my oldest son was at a party and somebody started shooting, and it caused everybody else to start. Everybody else that had a gun, and so he was hitting the crossfire.
The grief would quickly pile on.
My second oldest son was killed at the skating rink in Cerritos 52 days later.
A powerful voice stepped in, famed football coach Pete Carroll. You're talking Pete Carroll, the football coach.
I hadn't buried Kiwan yet when Pete called me and asked me could he meet with me, and we met at the coffee house, the Watts Coffee House.
He said,
I think it'll be good for you and for the community if you just start a support group and try to help these mothers. And I'm sitting there like...
By her own account, her 2 eldest sons were members of a gang. But she says Brandon was being mentored by the then USC football coach.
His vision was to get these gang leaders from around the city and bring them together and have them help other kids. And my son was a part of that. Pete always say it wasn't hard to convince Brandon that his leadership would be better if he was living his lifestyle this way.
In its 14 years, Loving Hands has grown to include an annual camping trip for siblings who've lost a loved one by any cause of death.
We invite and that we have a part of the program. It's literally different communities that don't see eye to eye. We bridge that gap through the healing process.
And this year, Wooten was honored by the LA Super Bowl committee as a legacy champion.
Loving Hands means to me just healing, just dealing with trauma.
What is the legacy of Loving Hands with your family?
Turning it over to my kids and my grandkids. I think that my granddaughter have so much to bring to the table. She lost her dad.
It's work on healing the heartbreak through the generations. Now, you know, we've all had to Zoom so much in recent times. Well, that allowed her to talk with mothers all across the country. And Alex, she wants to bring some of them to the luncheon for Mother's Day this year.
How profound. And then you think about all the work also that Pete Carroll did and didn't necessarily get a lot of attention for this.
Yeah.
It was just doing this behind the scenes and helping people.
It's kind of been under the radar. When she started telling me about it, well, tell me more about this.
Right.
Yeah, so God bless her for all her work to help other mothers.